Hello, crypto world. Welcome to the Chart Historian. My name is Justin, and on this channel, I delve deep into crypto charts, exploring chart structures, fractals, and patterns. Well, I have the Casper chart open. I have received a couple of requests on an update on the Casper chart, so that is what I am going to do. Now, if you have not watched my previous video on Casper, I suggest you do. It will be in the upper right-hand corner. So, what is going on this chart? Well, I believe what is taking place is exactly what should be taking place. Now, to show you what should be taking place, we need to go back to the beginning, the very beginning of Casper, so we can get a look at the macro structure that Casper is currently repeating. So, Casper has a macro chart structure, and it is a repetitive structure. So let's jump back there and take a look. So here we are back at the very beginning of the Casper chart. All these boxes, they are parts of that macro structure. This right here is the bull run. It comes to a peak. This is the topping part of the structure. This is a decline. This is one of the fractals in the sideways range-bound time. Here is another one. This is where it ends. It then begins all over again. It begins to move back up. Here's the topping structure. This one happened lower. Here is bottoming out part, and then this is the sideways range-bound time right here. And we are currently copying this part right here. So after this bounce, which also happened over here, Casper does one of two things. It goes, well, the first time it went sideways and then it dropped. This time around, it didn't quite do that. It went just at a kind of slow downwards trajectory. And this is the fractal that we are copying right now. After this will come a larger bounce. We see that here and we see that here. After this bounce, we go into the next bull run. So let's jump over to today's chart and copy and paste this structure onto the chart and see how it looks. Okay, so here we are on today's chart with that fractal copy and pasted onto today's chart. And as we can see, there are parts that appear to match better than other parts. So right here, for instance, it moves up, comes back down, and it just follows the overall structure of today's chart, at least right here. Now, the timing of this is a little different. This should be a little more like this right here. However, it's right here where it seems to deviate. So this structure right here, it is my belief that this is the same structure. It's just playing out on a larger scale. Let me adjust this structure right here, this fractal, to better match the timing, height, and depth on this chart. Now, it's important to understand that when a fractal repeats, the timing, the height, and the depth, that's always going to be unique. It's always going to be original. That part of the fractal does not copy over. So that can allow for a part of a fractal to move higher or lower, or for a fractal overall to be played out on a larger scale or a smaller scale. So let's show how this same structure looks when it's adjusted a bit better to today's timing, height, and depth. Okay, so here's the one we were just looking at, and here's the same structure just adjusted to meet today's timing a little better, timing, height, and depth. So now we see this move is better reflected. So you have this little part right here, and then it moves up, and now it's coming back down. I don't know how low this will go. Again, the timing, height, and depth, it's going to be unique. This could be the bottom here. We could see it move down a bit more. I don't know. But what I would expect is a move up at some point and continuing to do the rough idea of this structure. Now, when a structure repeats, it's repeating the same idea. However, with the timing, height, and depth being unique, it overall lends to the same idea playing out, but in a unique way. And we already see that in this chart. So this part moved up higher than this part originally did. We may see more of that same thing playing out over here. Once we reach this fractal right here, this part of the structure, this will be our clue that we completed this fractal, and what we will move into next will be that larger bounce over here and over here. So once we see this structure play out in its own unique way, we will know that this comes next. Well, folks, I hope you found this video interesting. If you did, it'd be much appreciated if you hit that thumbs up button. If you liked what you saw, this type of technical analysis is unique. You're not going to find it anywhere else. This is something that I have discovered. I use fractals and patterns from the past to predict future movements. This type of analysis shines in the fact that I can do stuff like you just saw, predict future movements and show you what it will most likely look like. Now, its weaknesses is I can't predict timing very well, and the height and the depth I can't predict. Well, at a certain point, I knew this structure was going to play out. I didn't know about this moving up higher than it did here. Although I've been at this enough to know that those kind of things could likely play out, so I'm telling you now to expect it as this fractal continues to develop. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm so glad you caught this video. Hope you catch my next one. Have a great day, and bye for now.